Hey everybody, welcome to Drunk Billy Flies. It's been a while, it's been a couple of months now. I haven't been able to do any videos because of constant crashes to desktop running the sim with OBS running at the same time. I don't know what the cause of the issue was, but here we are today, everything works. Want to see more of these videos? Go click that subscribe and click the bell to get notified. And today we're taking this bad boy out for a spin. So let's hit the cockpit, shall we?
All right, everyone. Welcome back to my cockpit. Today we're going to take a flight in something a little bit different. Normally I do GA. Today I'm in a business jet, specifically the Working Title CJ4 mod. Never been a jet guy, but I have to admit Working Title have done an incredible job on this mod, and I have an entire Air Manager panel set up for it, as you can see here. This was not my own creation. This is by a guy called FL Rob over on the Flight Simulator forums. I'll place a link to his repository for these instruments if you'd like to use them. Excuse me. Note that they require MobiFlight to operate properly, as there are some commands that are specific to the Working Title CJ4. So yeah, let's get this started. And I will say that I am not an expert in this plane by any means. The last couple of days flying it have been a comedy of errors on my part, but I think I've got it more or less working now, so let's give it a try. So this is stupid easy to start. Basically, you enable the battery here and start one engine at a time. If you take a look at the N2 rising, there we go. We have ignition. This is definitely a lot more complicated to fly than a simple GA. I've watched a lot of different videos on how to use this thing. Like I said, it doesn't make me an expert, but at least I am able to actually fly it and do stuff with it now, which is an improvement. There we go. Engine 1, engine 2, good start. And now we see the N2 rising. Once it hits about 12-ish%, we'll have ignition. There we go, ignition. All right. So emergency lights start, and pretty much everything else I can do from my controls. Rob does have the starter system built in his panels, but for some reason it won't start the plane, and I'm not sure why. I think it has something to do with fuel. Like the buttons activate, but the plane never starts, it just hangs on start. So, okay. We have start. So, okay, enable generators, enable avionics. And the beauty of the MCDU is having it on this screen so that I can actually touch it to do all my entry on it. It is wonderful. So, I'm going to bring this up for you here. So, okay, first we go to pause init. We set position to GNSS. So I select that button. And then we're good to go. So, In order to import your flight plan from Flight Simulator, if you don't want to enter one manual in here, you click the index button, then go over to the next, then route menu up here. And down here you'll see recall, flight plan recall from game. So there we go. We now have a flight plan loaded. So perfect. So now let me get my little flight pad out here, and I'm going to grab the ATIS. So tune, what's the ATIS in Ottawa? 121.15. We'll listen to what we've got.
Ottawa Airport information, Quebec 1700 Zulu. Wind 324 and 25. Visibility 15. Sky condition clear. Temperature 17. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.89er. Visual runway 25 in use. Landing and departing runway 25. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions.
Okay, so got enough here to start setting up my profile. So go to performance. So initial performance. Okay, so here's setting up your cruise altitude and all your weights. Your weights come from your fuel tab here in the game. So I have 6 passengers, 2 crew, and some cargo, all listed as 170 pounds. So altogether 8 people on board. So 8/170, and I go and enter it up here for passenger. So now passenger says 8 passengers at 170 pounds. 300 pounds of cargo goes here. And cruise altitude, I have it set up to, oops, clear this, 260, so flight level 260. Come on. There we go. Oh, I forgot one thing first. I have to go to flight plan. Departure, sorry, departure. I'm going to be taking off runway 25. Execute. I need that for my performance here. So I've done my initial performance. I go to my takeoff performance. Runway 25, which I need. I have to enter my wind 324 at 25. So 324/25. That's quite a wind. Outside air temperature is 17. And pressure 2989. 2989. There we go. Then I hit next, and you hit send. And hang on, I'll bring up my PFD. If you look underneath the altitude tape over here, I'll hit send. You'll see all my V speeds up here. So V1 99, rotate at 100, V2 113, and VT at 140. So technically we should have everything we need here in the MCDU in order to take off. So now let's get some clearance. 119.4. Activate. Let's get the clearance.
Clearance delivery, Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, ready to copy IFR clearance to Toronto.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is cleared to Toronto Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 25 climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Departure frequency is 128.17 Squawk 1262.
Squawk 1262. Ooh, wow, that added a few extras, and here we go. Add that to my transponder.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot cleared to Toronto Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 25 climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Departure on 128.17 squawk 1262.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.9er when ready to taxi. Good day.
There we go. 219. And we should be pretty much good to go here.
Ground Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot with Quebec ready to taxi IFR.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot taxi to an hold short of runway 25 via taxiway Bravo. Contact tower on 118.8 when ready.
118.8 into my standby.
Taxi to and hold short runway 25 via taxiway Bravo Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
And turn on my interior. I love
May
this.
I have your attention, please? The captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please fasten your seatbelt and shoulder harness at this time. Thank you. May I have your attention, please? At this time, please comply with the illuminated seatbelt and no smoking signs. Thank you.
All right. I think we're good to go here. I think. Oh well, we're gonna go. Oh, nav light, taxi light. I'm sure I'm not doing this by the book here by any means, but hey, whatever. This is a fun flight. Oh, for those who watched my previous videos, you'll notice now that I have the Honeycomb Bravo throttle. I finally managed to snag one. I now no longer have my Logitech throttle, multi-panel, and switch panel that I had before. Those are already gone and sold. This replaces it all, and this throttle is wonderful in so many ways. I love having the dual honeycomb setup, and I love having my two screens side by side for each other. This one's a little loose on its mount. The screws are too long for it, so I've ordered some tiny washers for it that I should receive in a couple of days that should tighten this up and prevent the wobble from this point forward. It's okay, so now I can bring up 118. Oop. There, put my departure frequency into my radio. I dropped something. Departure frequency was 12817. 128 dot. Oh, emergency brake. 17. Put that in standby. Okay. Now.
Tower flare tree 02 is going missed. Flare tree 02 contact
There we
approach
go.
on 135.15. Good day.
So, pitot heat, transponder, lights, camera action.
135.15 flare tree 02.
Get my chair in position so my wheels don't go back.
Tower
There we go.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot ready for IFR departure runway 25.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot altimeter 29.89er 1324 at 25. Cleared for takeoff runway 25.
Cleared for takeoff runway 25 Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
It's a nasty crosswind too. This should be interesting. I don't think I'm going to be able to hold this in a straight line. Got takeoff power. B1, rotate. Oh Jesus! Oh wow! Yeah, I don't think this was the right runway that they assigned me. There, bring back the climb power. Okay. Gear up.
Going to 128.17 Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Flaps
Departure
up.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is at 2,000 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
Nav mode. FLC. And enable autopilot. And let's go to 12,000 feet. All right. And flight level change, let's slow down. Okay, over 1,000 feet. Turn off landing and taxi lights. Wow, climbing at 6,000 feet per minute. This is incredible. Yeah, that was completely the wrong runway for the wind. There was a correct runway that they could have assigned me for that. Here, let me grab this. Pop ATC out to my other monitor. And here we go. We are en route. Yeah, I used the altitude on my Honeycomb Bravo because there's an issue with it in this panel here. I'm not sure what it is, but it often will reset altitude to 0. So I'm not sure why. I've looked at the code briefly. It looks...
Montreal Center,
hang on, we'll wait here till this is done. It's going to give me a higher altitude here. Yeah, I've looked at the Air Manager code for this, and it looks right to me, but I haven't really explored it in significant detail, so I could be completely off on that one. Here, let me make it a little bit bigger. Even a touch more. So my panels aren't exactly true to life to the real plane, but they are pretty close. I mean, positions are different. My electrical and audio panels are at the right spot. the upper one here should be on top of the MFD, and it isn't. I just, you know, I have to work within the limitations of the space that I have. I had it set up where I had my side monitor for a while with the MCDU down there, but it on my tablet, but it's just too small, and I prefer have it here, so this works well. Let's see what outside air temperature is, 5. Well, the ISA is 5, we'll see. I'm already there, but we're dealing with the altitude bug. Right now, that came out with Sim Update 5. I was above 18,000 feet, and it's yelling at me to expedite my climb. Here, I'm going to try something.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Toronto Center Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is passing flight level 190, descending flight level 180.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, Toronto Center, continue to light with this plan.
Let's see if they give me my 26,000 feet.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, climb and maintain flight level 260.
So I'm likely going to have to do about 27,000 at least so that they don't yell at me to expedite my climb. Oh, FLC up at about 220 here. Cloud everywhere. So yeah, we'll take a better look at my instruments here. A little nav map running in the bottom, and you can see my panels right now. The landing gear indicator is just one that was in Air Manager that I grabbed. There isn't one for the CJ4 specifically, although I am seriously considering building one. The standby flight instrument over there, over here, is actually not the one from in the actual sim. I made this bezel for it myself, doing a screen capture in the cockpit, and I'm using one of the instruments in Air Manager, and it's not really required, but I just wanted to fill up this extra space that was here that wasn't being used by anything, that just, it looked empty. So I decided to put that in, because why not, right? There. FLC up at a slower speed so I can get up to altitude quicker. A little bit more thrust. And I just noticed something. My screens are backwards here. My MCDU. Let me readjust those.
Toronto Center, clear tree 02, 5,100 feet.
There we
Clear
go.
tree 02, Toronto Center, altimeter 29.9 continue as planned.
That looks better. I hadn't realized that at first. My two screens were backwards
Altitude.
in OBS. Now it's looking the way it should. And if I go over here and look in a little nav map, it won't be too long here till it gets me to drop temperature. So we're looking for a cruise of 250 knots indicated. And from what I saw from a video from the corporate pilot dad, who actually flies citations, not specifically the CJ4, but other various citations for his job.
Tango Foxtrot, you are 600 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain flight level 260.
No, not VNAV. There we go.
Descend and maintain flight level 260 Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
From what he said in his videos, the best way to
Clear tree 02, contact
get a good cruise speed
4.975. Good day.
the way to get a good cruise speed is essentially to look at the fuel consumption and to lower fuel flow down to about 460, I believe it was, pounds per hour. You can get it down to 460 pounds per hour. That will maintain close enough a 250 knot cruise at any altitude. So, and it seems to work so far.
Foxtrot, please expedite your descent flight level 260.
Yeah, right now this is really, really annoying. The ISA up at 26,000 feet is showing at +3 Celsius, which is not bad right now because this was a lot worse. I have a screenshot at 32,000 feet where it was telling me it was 92 degrees Celsius. It makes the plane very, very, very hard to fly. You don't get good speed, you don't get good fuel economy.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, you are 300 feet below your assigned altitude.
Oh jeez, come on.
Descend and maintain flight level 260.
Climb and maintain flight level 260 Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Oh, it's gonna have me on descent here soon anyway. So it doesn't really matter. And we zoom out a little bit here. And traffic here. Lots of cloud, but no weather, it would seem. Increase the thrust a little here to 460 pounds per hour. I actually. I'll increase thrust to get my speed up to 250 and then I'll roll it back. At 540 pounds per hour and it's just hovering there. Good enough. I'll keep it here. This is a good cruise. Yeah, I should be going in on descent now any minute anyway. Drink. So yeah, Sim Update 5 definitely has mixed results. Overall, the performance is a lot smoother for me. Having the pop-out windows, which I have 3 in this place, PFD, MFD, and MCDU, the performance isn't better. As soon, like, if I don't have any pop-up windows, I can hit close to, 45-ish, 50 FPS, depending on the plane I'm flying, and it actually works really, really well. But the second I pop out windows, I'm down to, 30 FPS, dipping down into the 20s, basically what I was before. However, the big difference now is my performance is a lot smoother. I don't have as many stutters, except if I do a rapid pan of some kind. Well, here's just clouds, it's not too bad. If I'm on the ground or at an altitude where we can see objects on the terrain, panning left and right really quick really has a stuttery effect. But overall, frame times, if I bring up my in-sim dev mode frame timer, FPS counter, the frame times are far more consistent. Everything's beautiful. I'm still main thread limited, but it runs very, very smoothly overall, I have to say. I'm a lot happier with this performance, even though I haven't really increased my overall frames per second count in most of the planes I fly. However, it's not without its bugs. I mean, the temperatures and pressure reporting at altitude is messed up. The hot fix was supposed to fix that, and it didn't. So I don't know what's up with that. Hopefully we get another hot fix to fix that soon, because it makes flying jets particularly quite bad. Oh yeah, they also broke the throttle in the TBM. It doesn't work right with the honeycomb anymore. Now, part of that could be to the fact that the Mug's TBM 930 improvement mod is not compatible with it yet, and many of us are waiting anxiously for him to update it. I spoke to him really quickly on Discord the other day, and he said that, yep, he's planning on updating it, but no timeline as to when. So For those of you that like to fly the TBM 930, we'll have to wait. So, on another news, this is the first time today that I've actually been able to film this long while flying without a crash to desktop. Since Sim Update 4, I haven't really put out any videos because I haven't been able to. As soon as I have OBS running, capturing, and I have Flight Simulator running, I'd be 5-10 minutes into a flight and it would crash on me. And I'm not sure what the exact cause of it was, but that's been the reason why I've had no videos in the past while. Let's see, where are we on the map now? Yeah, I'm only 100-ish so miles away from Toronto right now, so I don't know if I mentioned it, but we're flying from Ottawa, Charlie Yankee Oscar Whiskey to Toronto Pearson International, Charlie Yankee Zulu. I only picked 26,000 feet as my cruise altitude today because of the temperature reporting bug. Once you start climbing like above 30,000 feet, this thing just goes absolutely nuts. Like, I really should be, should have been cruising at about 26,000 or 36,000 today. But this will have to do. Unlike I got quite a headwind here. Coming from about 45 degrees off from my track. Increase thrust. This is a beautiful plane. I haven't really found any liveries that I found a few liveries that I like for it, but none that are compatible with the working title mod, so. 16,000 feet it is.
Altitude.
VS it down at about 2,000 feet per minute. Tune. Pull back the throttle. Ragged, not ragged. Silly ATC. Well, live traffic seems to be working. Look at little nav map. There are two planes off to my left side. And if we look at my PFD and MFD, we can see those two planes there as well. So that's a good thing. increase my descent rate at 2,500 feet per minute. Pull back my thrust. I'm going way too fast. Another thing with Sim Update 5 that I forgot to mention that is really, really nice. This is one of the best things about it, in my opinion, and probably one of the bigger performance improvement is that they have moved the glass cockpit code to work on its own discrete thread. Prior to this, the glass cockpit displays were one of the biggest bottlenecks that were hammering the main thread. It was just absolutely insane how much work that the main thread was going updating glass cockpits. And that's why they added that setting for low, medium, and high refresh rate for glass cockpits. Well, now I'm actually able to run my glass cockpits at high refresh rate, which is wonderful. There's no more jerkiness. It's wonderful. Okay, so 120.825. Put that COM 2. See if I can get ATIS. Yeah. Let's try again here without somebody else walking all over that. Completely wrong winds for the completely wrong winds for the runway being assigned, so this should be fun. Oops, clear 0, 1, 2 at 25. For temperature, 2999 for pressure. What do you mean invalid? I haven't been assigned my approach yet. That's why I have to put my approach in order to get this in. Okay, well, the other data is in there, so I'm okay for now.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Altitude.
Whoa, overshot that. Yeah, there's some weird acceleration that they have happening on this control. And I don't know if it's the honeycomb drivers or if it's the sim itself doing it, but I don't like it. So much for the clear skies that they were calling for. It's pretty cloudy to me. Departure arrival.
Toronto Center generic November 751 Juliet Sierra is at 6,900 feet, climbing 10,000 feet. Generic November 751 Juliet Sierra, Toronto Center altimeter 29.9 for continued vent plan.
Keep my speed under 250 because I'll be hitting 10,000 feet here shortly. Enable my strobe lights. Oh, I had never turned on my logo light.
Altitude.
Turn on my emergency light? Yes, I did. Emergency lights aren't. Come on now, assign me an approach. It's either going to be 2-4 left, 2-4 right, or 2-3. They seem to like giving me 2-3 when I land here, regardless of the conditions. Keep my speed around 200-ish. Nope. There.
Going to 132 decimal, big Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Tune and 1328.
Toronto approach Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, 10,000 feet.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, Toronto approach altimeter 30.00, continue to deck and land. Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot descend and maintain 7,000 feet, keep speed nautical 220 knots.
Descend and maintain 7,000 feet, keep speed nautical 220 knots, Cessna Whiskey Tango.
BS down. I'm doing about 1,500 feet per minute here. Keep the speed below 220. I'm going to keep it around 200. To be in IMC conditions today, it looks like. Well, we're flying IMC right now. Come on, give me my approach. I have a feeling they're going to give me 2-3. And I'm like almost at the entry point to that pattern.
Altitude.
I've only got 2 more to go. I've got Dugda waypoint and then New Deck is my initial approach fix if I'm getting 23. Leave my pad on my knee here. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to need to get down to about 3,000 feet. Let me preset that. Selector.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Come on, give me my approach. I have a feeling they're going to give me 2-3. I'm going to set 2-3. New deck. Execute.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, you are 20 miles.
There we go.
Maintain present heading at altitude. Expect ILS runway 23 approach by Newton transition. Clear to Newton.
Approach.
Maintain present heading at altitude. Expect ILS runway 23 approach
All
by
my
Newton
values are
transition.
here.
Clear to
Next.
Cessna Whiskey Tango
Send. So now it will give me my approach speed, direct. To new deck, execute. Which is where I was going anyway, but there we go. It should tune my radios automatically. So 1115, and it looks like it has.
Altitude.
And we have the CN Tower off in the distance. So I'm going to hit arm my approach. Once I cross. There we go. Automatically switched me over to lock 1. Here, I got my chair here to kind of lock my wheels because I need to use my pedals. And here we go. Turn on my taxi and landing lights. Again. Under 200. Flap and gear speed for this plane is 200.
13 miles northeast of Toronto. Contact Toronto Tower on 118.35 when inbound on the approach.
Tower on
118.35.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
341 at 29. That's very different than. Oops. What was pressure? 3. Change that here real quick and send. There we go. Glide slope is live. Oh, nope. No, that was just. I thought I had hit my glide slope, but I didn't. Gear down. Three greens indicating. And we have glide slope. Flaps down. Gear and first stage flaps is 200 knots in this plane. And full flaps is 160 knots IAS. Okay, let's bring this speed down. Approach speed should be about 112.
Clear to land runway 23 Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
And I will set my. Oh. Escape. I want my refs, not my barometer. And yep, according to the chart, 200 is good. So I should get my minimums call out. Getting my speed under control here. Everything is nice and smooth. 111 knots across the ground. 700 feet descent rate. I see no reason for any kind of go around here. There's no other traffic. Seems to be taking me in a little bit low.
Autopilot.
Right. Turn the autopilot off. I'll bring it in manually from there. Like Steve-O Knievo says, you can't let the plane have all the fun.
Minimums.
Especially if the plane is trying to kill you along the way. Whoa, this is not what I was planning here. There we go, that's better. Let's see if I can, well, I won't get a center line landing, that's for sure, but see if I can actually have a smooth landing. Oh, we had a nasty stutter there. A little bit of a bounce. Deploy speed brakes. Out. Yeah. That's what happens when you land with such nasty crosswind. That's why in real life they give you the correct runways. 119.1.
Going to 119.1 Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Stop on the other side of the whole short line here and clean up the plane. And welcome to Toronto, folks. So, that'll be it for today. I will do my taxi, but I think you guys have been here long enough. This is an over an hour video, so thanks for tuning in. And hopefully, now that I'm able to record again, hopefully we'll catch you next time. Happy flying.